Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Sagittarius placements, there might be a message in here for you. So Sagittarius, I was getting very interesting message for your reading today. It was coming through as being that you're getting glimpses of an alternate version of you, is just how I'm going to put it. So it could be something like an alternate or parallel dimension or something like that if you want to go like really into it, but it doesn't have to be that exactly. But an alternate version of you is how I'm going to settle on this message. And an example of how this is coming through is from the show The OA. It's a Netflix show from a few years ago now. There are only 2 seasons, but the show is about, just briefly, like the part that's relevant for your reading today is that there's a girl, and when she was young, she was born in Russia. Her father was like a mob boss or something like that, and her life becomes put in danger because of his work and all that. So he sends her to America to live with like her aunt or something, but then she ends up being adopted by an American family and grows up there. And I think that she's also blind. I can't quite remember. Anyways, so that was her life. And then in the second season, like it's like sci-fi fantasy and a little bit spiritual as well. Her and this group of people end up like jumping, like their spirits, their consciousness jumps into a different dimension, like a parallel universe, into their bodies. But those people have lived different lives. So for her parallel universe was where she never was sent to America. She stayed with her father. He lived a long life. They had, like, she ended up being, like, almost, like, lived, like, the life of, like, a princess. Like, she had everything. She was never adopted by the American family, like, that kind of thing. And her life was drastically different than the other, right? So what was coming through for you, Sagittarius, where it's like, is like you're getting glimpses into the other parallel universe of like what your life could have been like if certain circumstances had changed or were different or whatever, something like that. It could have something to do with timelines or whatever. I'm not good at that sort of like terminology, so just put it whatever word you want to put there. But it feels like there is something like that for you, like, and it could be even past life energy. Another example of that would be like in Avatar, The Last Airbender, where he could like access past versions of the Avatar energy in order to solve certain problems. Like he would get insights or he would figure out clues or whatever. So it's like, it's kind of coming through like that for you. It's like you're gaining access to some other life or knowledge or something like that that is meant to help you with whatever it is that you're facing right now. If it is that you're facing a challenge or something like that, it's almost like something else is awakening is kind of how it's coming through. Anyways, I pulled a few cards from the Alchemy deck. I only pulled 3, and then I was going to pull the rest, but then I was told to like do it on camera. So I pulled these 3 cards. The first one that you got out is the Great Serpent. And like this was looking to me like a timeline. It really is feeling kind of like you're accessing another timeline. I'm just going to use that word. Another version, let's say. Of something that you like an alternate version. Like, this is the version of her life where she grew up as a princess. Like, as an example, I know that sounds very trivial, but it's like there's something here of like a change in circumstances, how it's coming through. So it could be that there's like a significant change in circumstance, because the Great Serpent talks about something shifting completely to the opposite. So there is something like that where it's like maybe there was an aspect of, if we're talking about like in a really practical sense, this could be something where it's like a shift in circumstances, as an example, like from poor to rich, right? Like that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be that literally. Whatever it is for you, or however this resonates for you, it's like a sudden shift in circumstances where you're almost experiencing the opposite of what you were, is kind of how that's coming through. And like it does feel, so it kind of feels like there's, it could have something to do with abundance. That would be one example, but it doesn't have to be that for everybody. But there is a lot here, is just how it's coming through. And I feel like it is a closed loop, is what I just heard. I have no idea what that means. So I feel like it's not like, okay, this is such a strange reading. Sagittarius, what's coming through here is that, like, let's say you're driving on a road, right? There's a clear point A, point B, and a destination that you're going towards. I feel like that's explaining sort of like the path that you're on, the journey that you're on. Whereas this feels more like a race course, where it's like a closed loop, right? There's not really a point A to point B. It's like you're going around in a circle. So this doesn't necessarily feel like it's taking you off your path. It feels like you're still on your path, but it's almost a bit of like a detour. It's like you're going around a race course. And the reason for that is because there are all these little gems here that you're connecting or collecting, like kind of like in Mario Kart, right? Like in a video game where like there's almost like this like bonus level is how it's coming through, where it's like you can collect more money or resources or energy or like power-ups or that kind of thing. That's what this energy is coming through with, is being like a little bit of a side quest kind of energy, or a little bit of like a closed loop path where the whole purpose of it is just to rejuvenate or increase your abundance, your resources, and to give you a power up kind of energy. That's how it's coming through. What's really interesting is that the next card out here is you have the Uncreated, which is this card about like so much potential. So the snake energy has been coming up a lot in the last couple of readings. You'll notice that the thumbnails both had the snake card, which talked about this like protection, a guardian, and potential, that your potential is protected from something. What's interesting about this Uncreated though is that the image I got when this card came out was like, it always looks to me like it's like something about to pierce this gem, but I was seeing a water balloon. It's like a water balloon about to burst, and all of this water is freed. So it feels kind of like flow. I do want to read what this Uncreated card says, because so maybe there is some sort of increase in flow is what's coming through with that. So it could be creative. Wrong deck, sorry. I mean, wrong book. I will bring out the archetypes though. The unconceived, the seed of the seed. There was a time when everyone you know was not yet born, when every city was yet to be named, when your favorite song was yet to be sung. Such is the energy of the uncreated. This card indicates the subtle but profound force that summons all that will be into existence. This most sacred of formulas cannot be manufactured, contained, bought, or sold. It is the pure intelligence of creation pulsing at the door of reality. Its timing is precise, and it is happening now. Do not delay. Send an invitation to the uncreated. Allow it to formulate and gestate. Soon a sketch, a map, or a name will draw itself upon your mind. Envision and believe. The architecture of the future is within you. All ground is fertile. Life begets life. Like it, and it could be something like inspiration. Like I get with this one, all of the aces combined is how this card comes through. All of the aces combined. It's a new beginning, and 11:11 on the timer as I said that. A new beginning. The seed of the seed, where it's going to become something. So paying attention to, or like just receiving inspiration or ideas, that might be part of it as well. But I am still seeing this energy of like a water balloon popping. And also what I was getting with that is like in Mario Kart, the little boxes with the question marks on them, like it's like a surprise, a gift. There's something in there that is going to be revealed. And you also have here the blood card, which is very interesting because this talks about, so first of all, it talks about the physical body. I do feel like there is some sort of physical consequence that is coming from this, Sagittarius. So even though there is this like very significant spiritual energy that I'm getting for your reading, it feels like it is going to manifest physically in some way for you. I don't know, pay attention to like small, random, like injuries that may happen, like small, like paper cuts or like pin pricks, like it's coming through like that, like minor, but you notice them, of course. Like it's kind of coming through, I don't know, maybe there's something about diabetes, I don't know, it's so random, but the like, you know, when you test your blood for your blood sugar levels, like that, it's that kind of energy. It's like a small pinprick, but has the benefit of giving you information is what's coming through with that. I have no idea what, but information is what's coming through. Like, I feel like you are in this very unique is the word that's coming through, unique, off the beaten path kind of process where it's almost like there's you're gaining a lot of information, maybe through your physical body or through some sort of physical process. There's something about a pinprick. I don't know. And now it's coming through with like, now it's coming through with, there's so much information coming through and I have no idea how it connects for you, Sagittarius, but I'm just relaying the information. In the movie Maleficent, which is also like a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, but told from the perspective of Maleficent. And of course, in the Sleeping Beauty story, like the pinprick is the thing that was the there's so much here. The pinprick was the method of some sort of curse. I'm putting quotations around that word because that's not the message that's coming through for you, Sagittarius. It is feeling, though, kind of like destined, because I feel like there's something here where it's like the message that's coming through with that is that, especially from that point of view of Maleficent, is that the pinprick was necessary in order for the love to be revealed, right? Like, for the love to be revealed, because of course Maleficent put the curse on Aurora because of resentment and pain and all of that, that she was healing. But then later on, because she ended up also being the one to reverse the curse because of love, right? Like, she was the representation of true, pure, innocent love that like woke Aurora from her sleep, right? Like, that's what the message is coming through for you as. But it's like, it required the pinprick. It required, I don't know, like, breaking something is kind of how it's coming through in order for the love to be truly revealed. Like, that's how it's coming through. I don't know what this is for you. But it does feel kind of like opening up a gift. Anyways, I'm going to pull more cards from the Archetypes. Like, I am kind of getting, okay, that's too many cards. Okay, I'm kind of getting, especially with the seed, right? Like, it has to break through the shell in order for the plant to come out. It's coming through like that. But for some reason, it does feel kind of like there's some sort of like, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know. Something painful or uncomfortable about it. The temple. Okay, there was a reading, I can't remember what sign it was. It was a couple weeks ago now, I'll link it above, that talked about like breaking down the tower in order to build the temple. So there may be a message in there for you. I can't remember what sign it was. I feel like it was Scorpio, but I can't remember. So you may want to watch that. This is a card about the sacred, and that we are always connected to the sacred, or we can be. I feel like we have a tendency to distance ourselves from the sacred, but this feels like bringing it closer. Like, it does feel kind of like that, like, maybe there is something about like feeling distant from something that is actually very close to you and that's very easily accessible to you, but maybe you're feeling distant from it. It came out upright though. Maybe there is something growing for you, but it kind of feels like there's a bit of a separation. Because I forgot to mention at the bottom of the deck, you have Pluto, which is this energy of death and rebirth. And with that Scorpio energy, I can't remember if it was Scorpio, but that's the sign that's coming up right now. Like, there's a Scorpio kind of vibe here of like a tower energy, or like something that's a death process, a death and rebirth energy that's coming through here. But what I'm seeing for you, Sagittarius, is that like the rebirth, it's really wanting to focus on the rebirth. Because what I was seeing again is that race course kind of like metaphor of like, it's just filled with coins and prizes and rewards, like power-ups. Like, that's what I'm seeing for you really strongly. Like, there's this like and now I'm hearing like the sound of like when you collect a whole bunch of coins in a row in a video game. I don't know if this is literal for you, Sagittarius. Like, maybe there's a lot of money coming in or something like that. Like it's like the like a slot machine kind of thing. I don't know. I have no idea what this is talking about. And the womb is wanting to come out again. This was one of the cards that came out in that big stack that I put back. You have the womb and the king. And because the womb is talking about, look at these triangles here. The womb talks about your origin story, right? And the king card talks about like a healthy representation of the ego, right? Not an unhealthy one. It can be, of course, but I'm not getting that for you. And you have the kiss at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the womb talks about your origin stories, right? Like going back to the beginning of something. And it is coming through like with that example of the OA, like the version of yourself that maybe you never fully got to experience in some way. Like, because another example that I'm getting is the King Arthur movie that was directed by Guy Ritchie. So random. The King Arthur movie that was directed by Guy Ritchie. I feel like he changed the story. I can't remember. But he, in that story, like he was orphaned, right? Like he ended up growing up on the streets, right? Like detached from his title, detached from his, destiny. Or, I mean, that was part of it too, but it feels kind of like something like that. Sagittarius for you, like there's something where you became either like detached or removed from maybe a timeline or a path that you were always meant to be on. That's how it's coming through. So it's kind of feeling like you're rewriting that, or that you're now reaping the benefits of that in some way. Going back to the beginning of something, because I feel like with both of those stories that are coming in, the OA and King Arthur, they became removed from their families, or like from whatever so if it's not literally that, it could be something where it's like maybe a spiritual family or something. I don't know what it is for you, Sagittarius. It feels very significant though. It's like this feels like it's correcting a course that you were removed from in the past. And it could have to do with soul family. The bear. Danger, especially in money matters. I do feel like money or abundance is significant in this case, in this reading for you. Bird perched, waiting for news, package, or a letter. Frying pan, trouble, accusations. Fly, period of ill health or depression. Candle, you will be shown the way. Okay, I am getting something. This seems so like out there, but kind of like that King Arthur story. I feel like the plot was borrowed from Hamlet, like how his uncle sabotaged him and like that kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Like maybe you're learning some sort of truth about like somebody taking or stealing your inheritance, whatever that is. And so you became like, I feel like you suffered the consequences of somebody else's treason is what's coming through, or that whatever it is, like something like that. That's what's coming through here with this, especially with that King Arthur story. Specifically the Guy Ritchie version, because I feel like that he changed it. But anyways, especially with the trouble, accusations, danger, money matters. Like, there may have been somebody, whoever that is for you, doesn't have to be family, but it could be, who, like, sabotaged you because they were in money. They had money issues, or they had, financial problems or something like that. But I feel like that is what's being corrected. Because it's kind of coming through as being like you're being shown the way to reclaim your throne. But I feel like there's something here about like you're waiting for news of something. Okay. I'm getting something like, you may have seen evidence of somebody or it could, so if this is not you, it could be about somebody else. Like, maybe you saw evidence of somebody else sabotaging somebody that you care about or something like that. That feels like it's specific to one person, but just take it if it resonates. Yeah, psychic ability, trust your intuition. Wedge. Someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something that you want. And chair filled. Someone new is entering your life. You have forest at the bottom of the deck, which says unclear or muddled thinking. I feel like there's something here, Sagittarius, of like, okay, let's say as an example, this is a workplace, and there's someone at the workplace who was doing shady things to try and get ahead. And it feels like you witnessed that, whether or not they were doing that to you or not. I feel like in some cases it is, in some cases it isn't, where it's like this person, like there was someone trying to get ahead but in a shady kind of way, in like a not good kind of way, and like they shouldn't be doing that kind of way. And you saw through that with the eye. That's how it's coming through. And it's almost like it's almost like you were shown the way to rectify this situation. Like, this is how you correct this. Or something like that. Like, it's kind of feeling like I don't know. It feels kind of like you had a bit of help there, where it's like spirit, the universe, or whatever. Almost like you, I want to say like used you in the best way possible, right? Like as a vessel or whatever, as the sword, so to speak. Like you were the sword, you were the instrument that spirit was using to correct or realign something that was happening in a situation that was wrong. That's how it's coming through. You were the sword. You were the pinprick, right? Like you were the spinning wheel needle that allowed destiny to be fulfilled. Like that's how it's going through. It sounds so epic. I feel like there is something like that. Like there's an element of something epic in this. And I feel like there is something here happening for you, Sagittarius, where now it's kind of like you're just waiting now. Waiting for something to happen based on the actions that have already, like the dominoes have already started to fall, is how it's coming through. And it's like you're waiting for the final, whatever it is, event to take place, where it's like I do feel like there is something that's going to be exposed in whatever way that is. Like, I'm seeing the Apocalypsis card now, which talks about like a veil of deception being removed, right? Like, that's how it's coming through. And I can't, because all of those stories, especially with the, like, not especially, sorry, the Maleficent story, like Aurora reclaims her title, right? Because, and King Arthur also reclaims his title, and the OA, she returns to the life that she didn't have because of, you know, the circumstances of her life. Like, I feel like there's something like that happening. Like, it's kind of feeling like a rags to riches, but the riches were always yours, but you became separated from them because of somebody else doing something that they weren't supposed to. It's coming through with that vibe. Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. You were the sword of truth. That's how it's coming through. And with, like, King Arthur, that's Excalibur, right? He was the only one who could wield it, because he was the true king. That's how it's feeling. This is feeling like destined. It really is, that like this strong of a word is really wanting to come through. It's destiny. It was destined. You were the instrument or the sword of truth that Spirit was using to correct some sort of injustice. That's the message for you, Sagittarius. 3 of Pentacles. Okay. This one is so interesting because 3 of Pentacles talks about collaboration. So there is that element here for you. I do feel like there is a collaboration. Like, this involves many people, but with this, it's a surprise. Like, I always see this as being, like, this is a mountain, obviously, but to me, it sometimes looks like there's something underneath it, and it's a tarp. Like, a tarp is covering whatever is underneath this, and it feels kind of like an unveiling of some sort of, like, secret, like, mystery box. Like, it's like, I just keep seeing those little boxes from Mario Kart with a question mark. It's a positive thing. It's like a power up. It's something that you have yet to discover. It could also be some sort of gift of yours, Sagittarius, that you have yet to discover, that is going to be unveiled maybe with the help of other people or the co-creation of other people. Triangles are coming through as a really big symbol for you. Then you have 9 of Wands and 9 of Cups. But it's like there are people that are helping you. Collaboration, right? With these triangle energies, like trine energy. Leo and Aries might also have significant messages in there for you. But you are still strong and independent on your own. With the 9s coming out, like 9 of Wands, 9 of Cups. This 9 of Wands talks about resilience, and they both have the moon here, which also feels significant. Because I, like, with these shapes, right? Like, of course, like the downward triangle is representing the womb, or the chalice, which I'm seeing with this card. And then that is representing, like, the upward triangles are representing more masculine energy with this sort of, like, resilience, or the sword, right? Like, that's how it's coming through. It's like the sword and the chalice. And you have both of them coming out together. I feel like there was something of like a situation where somebody was trying to get in between you and another person, or you and something that you want, whatever that is, doesn't have to be a person, but that you have successfully overcome that. Six of Wands. Yeah, successfully overcome that. That is overcoming the Five of Wands, right? Which is a conflict. This does talk about success and also hope in this one. Because of the blue butterfly. Son of Wands. I don't like this card in this deck. This one talks to me about someone who's false. Eight of Swords. Okay. There's so many stories of like kings who were displaced from their throne. Like, now I'm getting the Lion King and Scar, right? It's all like the Hamlet story. I have no idea if there's like there's some sort of message in there for you about Hamlet. I haven't read the original, but of course Lion King is based on Hamlet, the uncle who took the throne of the rightful king, right? Like, that kind of energy, that's what's coming through here. And like in the Lion King specifically, where Scar told Simba that he needed to run away because his family wouldn't forgive him for being the cause of his father's death, right? Like, that's the energy I'm getting with this card. I feel, and so I don't know, the Son of Wands to me in this deck talks about someone who has this like false sense of power, or who like manipulates through charm and like that kind of thing. And I feel like maybe in the past you were a victim of that, but not anymore. Of course, Sagittarius, that's what's coming through here. Yeah, Daughter of Cups. This one to me talks about like being who you really are, not being afraid to be who you really are. It's like a pure and innocent expression of truth and love, and self. Two of Cups. Nine of Swords and Daughter of Wands. Interesting. Okay, can I get another card in this Son of Wands? Okay. I feel like there's something here. You have Two of Wands, sorry. The Son of Wands, let's call it the Knight of Wands. I feel like it's not necessarily a bad card in this deck. I just don't like the imagery of it. But anyways, but I do feel like there's something here about you and another. And this feels like a Two of Cups energy. But I feel like there's fear on both ends. Because how it's coming through, you have Empress at the bottom of the deck. Where it's like you have one person who is the Knight of Wands, right? Let's take away that negative characterization of what the Knight of Wands is. and let's reframe it into this, because I feel like there is something here about like a Knight of Wands, someone who is very passionate, someone who takes action, someone who has a lot of energy to share with others and is very fun and uplifting and like brings up the energy of a group. Like that's how it's coming through. But has a bit of an Eight of Swords energy, like fear of being themselves is how it's coming through. Fear of being themselves, or fear of sharing themselves, or fear of being who they are, or showing that part of themselves that's very vulnerable and pure and innocent with the Daughter of Cups. And then there's another who is the Daughter of Wands. The Daughter of Wands, which is this also very playful energy, but this Daughter of Wands comes in with a bit more of like exploring something, learning something new. It's a very like flow like energy of like when you're in the creative process, you just like are engrossed in it. There's a lot of peace that comes with it. There's a lot of creative flow that happens. That's what I get with the Daughter of Wands. But there's fear with the Nine of Swords. Like this card talks about like deep fears, subconscious fears, anxieties, really like tough like energies that need to be transmuted. And it feels kind of like there's something here that like this is it's coming through as a Two of Cups and a Two of Wands, which is coming through as being like an alignment of sorts. So I feel like there's something here where Sagittarius, whoever you are, because of course Sagittarius is Knight of Wands, right? Sorry if anyone got triggered by that description, but it's like it's coming through with like these I feel like are coming through as being like the orphan energies, the versions of self that were rejected or that were put out on the street metaphorically, or that had become detached from their destiny or their throne or their title, right? Like that's how it's coming through. These are the versions of self maybe that were rejected. And I feel like in order for, I don't know, there's something here about like maybe there's a collaboration happening in that regard, or of like helping, being cautious, helping one another to reclaim their throne, right? In a not codependent way. Because you do have Nine of Wands and Nine of Cups, that it does have to be independently done as well. There's it's a balance of interdependence, right? Like being really strong on your own, but also accepting help from those that have the ability to do so in areas where you might need help. Like there's a balance. So I feel like there's something like that coming in for you, Sagittarius. I feel like there is part of the challenge is like something, especially with like that example of like the OA where she got glimpses of the other, or like she went into the life of the other who lived much differently than she did. It was difficult for her to forget the past versions of herself where like she, you know, as a more practical example, let's say somebody who grows up with not a lot of money, and then once they're older they have more money or more abundance, or they become rich, but it can be difficult to leave behind certain habits or certain patterns that came from survival, right? Like it's like survival versus thriving. There's something here that feels like there's a challenge in trying to overcome the survival instinct. That's how it's coming through. Okay. inspiration and sovereignty. The inspiration card is really significant, like, because I feel like you are getting inspiration about, like, what to do, or like what's coming in for you, or what's next. So just pay attention to that. But I am gonna read, hold on, should we do the yeah, okay. The sovereignty card, though, is also coming through as being like reclaiming your title, right? Like being, hold on. Sovereignty knows that self, not selfishness, is its set point. It looks inward for alignment and then outward for how to move in relationship. It's not, the sovereign self is not individual or self-serving. It does not navel gaze. It looks inward for alignment first, then looks outward for how to support, receive, give, and move in relationship with that alignment. Deconditioning and integrating the truth of who you are is foundational. Okay, I'm going to read inspiration, though, because I feel like that's important for you. The magical melding of yourself, your higher self, and inspired guidance is the impetus of conscious creation. To do anything with inspiration, to move it from the etheric to the physical, it must be embodied. The role of the parietal bone is to integrate what it means to be moved, understanding divine inspiration, not as something separate from the self, but as something integral to it. To move with inspiration means you cannot hold it too tightly. When you restrict this flow of energy, you restrict others as well. You stagnate in identity, repress your dreaming self, and place expectations around what you are creating. When you hold the impetus of conscious creation tightly, it cannot do what it's meant to do. This creative portal is a channel to the flow of the divine energy, beings, and inspirations that are here to guide your co-creative life. Inspiration desires to move from your head to your heart and attune how you give and receive. It needs to drop from your heart to your pelvis and align how you activate your purpose and receive support. Let inspiration move through you so it can move your life in the direction of your dreams. Okay. Sagittarius, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.